Are you ready to fight like a champion, not just in the courtroom, but in every facet of your life? Welcome to the Legal Athlete Podcast. I'm Jess Sargus, your host, high-performance speaker, and coach for trial lawyers. With over 22 years as a trial attorney and legal exec, and an undefeated record as a former MMA fighter and boxer, I know what it takes to thrive in high-stakes environments. I also know that in both the courtroom and the cage, you're only as good as your wins. That's why I'm here to help you develop a fighter's mindset, discipline, and strategies so you can master your mental game and execute under pressure to win more and burn out less. Every week, I fuse insights from elite athletics, legal pros, and cutting-edge neuroscience and sports psychology to help you perform at your peak under pressure. So whether you're looking to reinvent your practice, your mindset, or your life, this is the podcast for you. It's time to become a legal athlete. Let's get it. Welcome back to the Legal Athlete Podcast, where every week we dive into how lawyers, executives, athletes, and high achievers in any field can perform at their peak using the tools of sports psychology, neuroscience, and high-performance coaching. I'm your host, Jess Sargus, and today's episode is all about one of the most courageous, powerful choices any high performer can make: betting on yourself. Now, betting on yourself is one of those phrases we hear a lot, but few people really understand what it means, what it takes, especially when fear, uncertainty, and high stakes are involved. So many of us wait for the confidence to arrive before we act, when in reality, the confidence comes from taking the leap. So today's episode is personal. It's powerful, and if you're here listening right now, I already know one thing. You are not here to play small. You didn't come this far. You're not interested in these concepts just to play it safe and sit on the sidelines. You're here to lead. You're here to grow. You're here to bet on yourself, even when fear is loud and the path ahead isn't crystal clear. So let's talk about it. The people we admire most, the champion athletes, the business mavericks, the community leaders, the best trial lawyers, the people doing big, bold, transformational things, they didn't start with all the answers. They didn't move forward because they were 100% sure they'd win. They moved forward because playing small was not an option. They had the courage to challenge the limits of what is possible, and that's what I want for you. Growth isn't for the perfect, it's for the brave. Success, that's not a prize for people who wait until they're certain. It is the byproduct of people who take action even while they're scared. Now listen, betting on yourself doesn't mean being reckless. It means deciding, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not shrinking to fit into anyone else's box, any box that I don't believe I fit in. I'm not putting my dreams, my goals, or my calling on hold. It's you saying, I know it's scary. I know I don't have it all figured out, but I also know I'm not going to stay stuck just because the next step feels hard or because I can only see one small step ahead and I'm not sure where the path goes after that. I know the path reveals itself to those who are moving forward on it. So that's what I'm going to do. And that right there, that's the champion mindset. And here's how elite performers, champion athletes, top lawyers, high achievers actually minimize fear and anxiety. They prepare, they plan, they create a strategy so solid, step by step, that success becomes inevitable. Not because it's guaranteed, but because they're executing, because they're doing the right things day after day. And in that execution, They stay curious and fascinated by the efforts and the mechanisms that they are working through and putting into action every day. They shift their focus from the outcome to the process, because that's where the real power lives. That's where you are controlling the controllables and staying on that path to your vision. In fact, preparation is one of the most underrated confidence builders on the planet. You want to feel unstoppable? You want to walk into that deposition, that courtroom, that boardroom, or that life transition with unshakable belief? Then you need to stack your wins. You need to show up for yourself consistently. You need a plan so clear and so simple that every small action becomes another layer of belief in who you're becoming. That's what elite performance looks like. It's not flashy, it's not always loud, but it is disciplined as hell. Because what discipline really is, it's keeping your promises to yourself. It's showing up for yourself each and every day, because that's how you learn to trust yourself. That's what confidence really is, trusting yourself to execute your plan, to do your best, and to navigate any bumps in the road with optimism and creativity, because that's what happens when you work your process with consistency every day. You've built trust with yourself. You've banked it. You've stacked small wins on small wins and created an inevitable path to success, because you never stop trying. You never stop learning and growing and seizing those opportunities that come when you convert your vision into motion. Let me give you just a quick real life example of this in action, because sometimes the proof isn't just in the theory, it's in testimony. So let's talk about Serena Williams, the great. Before she was a 23-time Grand Slam champion, before she redefined the game of tennis, she was just a kid in Compton with a bold plan to become the greatest of all time. That vision didn't come from the world. It didn't come from the box that people wanted to put her inside. It came from within her, and it was radical at the time. She and her sister Venus would train for hours every single day, sometimes on cracked public courts with zero fanfare and zero guarantees. Serena has talked very openly about the power of preparation, the routines, the drills, the obsession with perfecting the little things. She didn't wait until the world believed in her. She bet on herself every single day because she believed. She visualized winning Wimbledon long before she ever walked onto that grass, and she made decisions like someone who already was a champion. That's the key. Someone who already was a champion even before she lifted that trophy. And that belief, backed by relentless action, that's what made her unstoppable. That's what built her into the icon we know today. But you don't have to be Serena Williams to adopt that same mindset. It's available to all of us. You just have to start thinking like the version of you who already has what you want, and then act from that place every day. What would that future you, that champion, do today to move forward on your path to secure victory? Do that. So let me ask you, where in your life are you still waiting to feel ready? Where are you playing it safe because fear has convinced you it's too soon or too risky or you're not enough? Let's be real here. That fear, it's never fully going away, but it doesn't need to. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the choice to act anyway. And sometimes it's putting your dreams into motion and finding the courage along that path of action. If you're standing at the edge of something right now, a new opportunity, a bold move, a small move, a big pivot, a smaller pivot, and the fear is creeping in, I want you to hear this. You don't need to be sure. You need to be brave. You don't need to feel absolutely confident before you start. Confidence is the result, is the reward for action, not the prerequisite. Betting on yourself is a practice. It's not one leap. It's the thousands of small decisions that you made to show up for yourself, to keep your promises to yourself, to move forward, and to trust that you are the one for the job. Because you are. There is no one better suited to be CEO of your life, of your vision, than you. So here's your challenge this week. Here's your action. Find one area where you have been shrinking. Pick one bold action, even if it's tiny, and take one intentional step forward in faith. Because every time you do, you build a little more trust in yourself, a little more momentum, a little more power, a little more belief. So if you're listening to this podcast, I already know you're built for more. You've got the fire, you've got the skill, you've got the calling, and now it's time to match that with action. So go make the plan, work the plan, and keep betting on yourself, because that is how champions are made. You don't need to be sure. You need to be brave. And playing small is the only guaranteed loss. Remember, elite confidence isn't born in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet, disciplined, daily reps you put in for yourself every day. So you don't need confidence to start. You just need a plan and the courage to take the next step. Betting on yourself isn't reckless. It is necessary, and it is the secret to building the vision of your life. The vision of your life that you see when you ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? That's it for this episode of the Legal Athlete Podcast. If this spoke to you, pass it on to someone else who's also standing on the edge of their next level. And remember this, confidence is built by keeping your promises to yourself. Every time you show up, every time you take one aligned action, even when it's hard, even when you're uncertain, you're proving to yourself that you're the kind of person who follows through, who you can rely on. That's how you build self-trust. That's how you become unstoppable. So this week, walk like the future you. Decide like the champion version of you already would. And then move like it's already yours. Because if you stay in the game and keep betting on yourself, it will be. You've got this. I'll see you next time, legal athletes. Green light. Let's get it. Thank you for joining me on the Legal Athlete Podcast. If you're ready to take your mental game to the next level, let's connect. Want me to speak to your group or team? Or are you ready for one-on-one trial fight camp coaching to perform at your best when it matters most? Reach out to me with a direct message on LinkedIn or through my website at thelegalathlete.com. Until next time, remember that the best version of yourself isn't some future version. It's the you who makes your daily choices. So make great ones. Make the ones that keep you on that champion fighter journey, building a record and a life you love.